Happy Saturday, witches. This is the Voodoo Doll from Noir Grimoire, and today I'm talking to you about the employ of sympathetic magic and why it's important. A lot of you will email me and say, you tried a ritual, you've tried even after we had a consultation to go through with the spell and it's just not working. You don't know what the blockage is, you don't know how to move forward. A lot of it is not having enough of a representation of the result you're trying to bring forth, and that is basically what sympathetic magic is. It is having an object that is symbolizing the target or the result that you're trying to affect or bring about. So a lot of times we all know what a voodoo doll is. That's a sympathetic tool. It's a sympathetic tool, sympathetic magic tool. So it is representing a human being. We get that, we visualize it's a human, we're trying to affect this human, and most likely a lot of us have great success with our first voodoo dolls because we get it. We can see it and it becomes real to us. Now, a lot of times when you're trying to do love spells and obsession spells with just candles, it may be hard to visualize the end result or the person. So a lot of times we'll print out a picture and we'll have the picture with the candles. Well, sometimes that's not enough. And so the main thing that I use is I use a lot of animal parts in my magic, and now I'm just starting to even offer that online on my website. And I wanted to talk to you today about possibly upping the ante, if you will, with your sympathetic magic, because it's all about belief. If you can believe it, you can bring it about. I don't care if you have to cut out a piece of paper that is a symbol of a heart when you're doing a love spell. If it gets you in the space to vibrate on the frequency that you need to vibrate on, the magic will work. And if you need more than that, then up the ante. I've even suggested chicken hearts, and I know some people were like, oh, I can't even find that, so now I'm listening to you guys and I'm starting to come up with solutions for you. Like I came out with a video a couple days ago about the heart spells that I'm offering that you can do at home. It actually has a real heart in the actual spell, so it helps you visualize what you're doing. So I just want to expound upon that and show you a couple of other options. So one of the things that I use in doing say obsession work is the double triangle. For one, I'm going to show you a little graph of a double triangle. So in any setup, let's see, yes, there we go. So in any setup, I'm usually using the double triangle. So what I'm doing is I have my one triangle. It's not perfect, but this triangle is 3 black candles. So of course, when I have it set up, it's just going to be a triangle of candles. It's not an actual physical triangle that you'll see, but I'm just showing you. So I have 3 triangles, or 3 candles set up in a triangle, and what those candles are is basically creating a sort of barrier for me to keep my magic in. Now, I don't do magic protective circles and all that kind of stuff when I'm doing simple spells. Now, for simple for me, it's like working with Lucifer or working with Astaroth or King Paimon or something like that. I don't need a protective circle for that. So I'm just doing the 3 candles in a triangle form just to kind of amplify the magic that I'm doing. So one of the symbols that I would use is I'm going to use the double cross. Please Google it. You guys sometimes will text me, or not text, email me and ask me a question about something that I've said in a video. Google is your best friend, and magic works for those who work for it. Sometimes you guys want everything spoon-fed to you, and it doesn't work that way. If you don't know something, Google it. I guarantee you half the spellcasters out there that you're following or employing, we had to do a lot of research on our own, and if I was waiting for someone to spoon-feed me the answer of everything, I would never have my own successful business. Look things up. If you don't know what the double arm cross is, look it up. So I use the double arm cross would be the sigil I would have under one candle. So when I have my triangle, I have the 3 candles, and underneath each candle, or by it, if you don't have a candle holder and you need to actually melt the candle and melt it to something, you don't want to put a piece of paper under it. So what I'll have is I'll have my sigil and then the candle on top of it. When I use the sigil or the symbol, whatever I'm using, I always enliven or charge that symbol or sigil with my blood. So what I'll do is I'll draw it out, or you can print it out. I like to draw it out because it has more energy in it. And then I anoint it with my blood, and I say like the opening of, you know, whatever I'm trying to say. Like I'm calling upon the power of the double cross, you know, to help me in my magic. And if you don't know what the double cross symbolizes, it symbolizes basically all that could be. It's destruction, it's creation, it's salvation, it's damnation. It is everything that could happen. Basically, it's everything and nothing at all, if that makes sense. And then I also use the sigil of the pentagram. On one of my black candles, I will have the sigil of the pentagram, and the pentagram should be inverted. And when you invert the pentagram, it basically means that the physical desires are stronger than the spirit. Because when you have a regular pentagram, say if you're using a pentagram for Wicca or something, it's usually upright, and it means that the spirit is above anything physical. So in this case, when you're inverting it, it means that the physical is more important than the spirit. So our will is going to be done. I'm employing magic because my mundane desires are more important than the spiritual. So that pentagram needs to be inverted. And I anoint that with blood. I put the candle on top of that, and I light that. Now, the third candle, doesn't really matter which place you're going to put it. Like if it's a certain deity and you know that he has to be in the north, then by all means point that triangle to the north and put that deity in the north. But I wrote down a couple. So black sulfur is one of the symbols that I will use if I'm doing destructive work. You do not want to bust out the symbol of black sulfur. If you are doing a black magic love spell, you will fuck your target up. So please know what these symbols mean before you use them. It's the broader your library is in your head or encyclopedia of what these things are, your magic opens up. And it's amazing because you'll have even a list of 20 demons or deities that you'd like to work with. And you know that this person is good for mind obsession or domination. Like Grata Alan is very good for mind domination. Dratalon is good for mind domination. So I know if I need to dominate somebody's mind and I'm trying to do obsessive work, I may call upon those two. So one of the sigils that I'll put under my candle would probably be one of those two demons. And I would anoint it, open it, welcome them into my space, and then light my candle. So those would be the 3 black candles. If I'm doing work where I need to humble someone, or I'm trying to teach someone a lesson, maybe this candle would be Lucifer. If I'm doing love work, that candle may be Astaroth. So you really need to broaden your education on deities and look up symbols, look up black magic symbols and what they are. And that way when you have your little grimoire and you say that, you know, I'm trying to do a love spell, but I need to teach him a lesson, and I also want to humble him, and I want to control his heart, then you would have a compendium of things that you could use. You know who's good for control of emotions. A lot of those demons are good for not only mind control, but emotional control. They can control the emotions. If you can control the emotions, you can control the mind. So figuring out what they're doing, and then you would be able to lay them out appropriately. So then moving into the inner triangle. The inner triangle that I use if I'm doing love, domination, or obsession is going to be a red candle, a purple candle, and a pink candle. Red for lust and sexual desires, pink for love, and purple for domination. And then in the middle, I would have here another sigil, and then my animal part on top of that sigil. So if I am doing a love spell, then if I've put, say, I have Lucifer up here because I want to teach the person a lesson, or I have another deity up here, then I would go ahead and maybe put Astaroth here. So I have the 2 deities. So I have one sigil inside the circle and then one outside of the circle. And then I would put my animal part on top of that sigil. And of course that sigil would be opened with blood as well, and then the animal part. So when you are, that's basically like you're building your force fields, and you can also put a picture of the target under the animal part as well. So you would have maybe your sigil here. If you're not going to use another sigil, don't worry about it. Say you're only working with Astaroth, you can pop her here, and then just put your picture here and your animal part on top of there. There's no wrong way to do it. I get so upset when people, you know, try to come for eclectic witches or chaos magicians and say you're doing it wrong. It's about how it makes you feel and how it puts you in the zone. That's like saying you're doing your pre-workout wrong or your workout music's wrong. it's not wrong. It's what puts you in the mood. If you can work out to, you know, what is that horrible band? God, I can't even think of it. Chad Kroger, Nickelback. God bless you. I'm not going to say it's wrong. That shit's not for me. I would probably work out to Rammstein or something. It's whatever puts you in the mode, and that's what you have to get out of your head when you're getting into magic. Is it's about frequency. If the sigil of Astaroth puts you in the mood and that is what you connect with, then use that. If the sigil of Lucifer works for you and you feel like Lucifer is the light bringer and the Venus, he represents the planet of Venus, and that's love, then do that. Stop listening to people telling you you're doing shit wrong, because I guarantee you, when you start doing stuff and just doing it on your own from your heart, your magic will start to work. But then when you read and you learn a little bit more and you'll say, oh shit, well that actually said that was wrong, but I got results from it. It's because you believed it was right. Now once you learn that it's wrong, it probably won't work for you anymore. So that's why I always say get out of your head and get into the magic. So once you have your double triangles set up via the candles, those are kind of your force fields. I kind of sit there and I put my intention into what I want to do. So if I'm trying to dominate someone's mind for a client, I'm staring at that picture of the target and I'm thinking about what my client asked me to do to this target, you know, how they want to dominate them, what results they want from the domination, and I'm thinking about that, and I'm staring at the candles and I'm putting that intention into the force field. And a lot of times you'll see the candles move, like sometimes or not the actual candles, but the flame. Sometimes the flame will be so weak and it looks like it just wants to puff out, you know, and you're sitting there like, please don't go out. And as soon as you start focusing on it, I challenge you to do it, it will start getting stronger. And it may be the strongest flame that you have out of all of them. So start playing with them. Look at one candle and focus on it and see if you can mentally get that flame to interact with you. And they will start interacting with you. And you'll start seeing results that way too. And then you'll know it's time to move on. When you have the flames are strong, you can feel the energy and the connection to it. And it's time to move on to dressing your sympathetic parts. So you don't have to use animal parts. If you're just using candles, then whatever. These would be your 3 candles you use. On the inner triangle, I'm out of black candles. The 3 candles for, you know, on the outer, you can dress these before you light them. I usually don't do any herbs on these because I've used the sigils and I've opened the sigils with my blood, so I don't do any carvings on these or anything like that. I just set them up and I light them because I put all my intention into the sigil and opening it with my blood. Now for love domination and love reanimation spells, I gave you guys the other day, this one's frosty because I had it in my freezer, the option of using a real heart, and this is a real heart. It is an animal heart, of course. Please do not contact me thinking I killed someone. This is an animal heart. So you dress your products or your animal parts like you would dress a candle. It's no different. So if you're going to use some sort of oil and you're using domination oil or bend over oil, come to me oil, you would just dress this with that oil. And you would use your herbs. If you're using herbs for love, then you have rue is a great herb. Then you have your lemon verbena and things that you can use to dress that heart with. So you would go ahead and dress your heart with your oils. Go ahead and dress your heart with your herbs. This one actually smells amazing because it has come to me oil on it. So this one smells like the most amazing incense you've ever smelled. No, it probably looks gross, but it's not. And I would hold this heart in my hand and I'm just putting my energy in it. So when I'm rubbing it, I'm thinking of what I want to do. I want to infuse it with love. I want to clear out all the negative energy. I want to start anew. I may even baptize and bathe this heart in salt water and just cleanse it and envision myself cleaning out any gunk or negativity that would have been attached in this heart via my client. Like say the client got into a bad argument with this target, I'm trying to clear out the negative residual from that argument, and I'm just working this heart and then putting your energy into it and your intention into the heart. And then we'd go ahead and put your heart in the middle on top of your sigil or your target's picture, and then just focus your energy on it. You really are just pushing your energy into it, almost like a meditation. I don't know if it would help you to write a petition once you got the item dressed and got it in the center of the double triangles, maybe writing out a petition of exactly what you want this spell to manifest, and putting that under the heart as well while the candles are burning down. It's about what gets you into the zone. So if your magic isn't working and you need stronger visualization, maybe it's time to up your sympathetic magic game, and this would definitely do it. Working with a real heart would absolutely up your sympathetic magic game. Maybe that's what you need to get you into the zone and to make you feel like it's real and you're really doing something. Because I know how hard it is when you're just staring at these and you're like, come on, make him love me. You know, it's hard to get into the zone. So this has always helped me, which is working with actual animal parts. Another sympathetic magic tool you could use, and this one's not open, obsession spells, brain obsession spells. To help me get into the zone, I use a real brain. This one isn't open. I really wish I could say this one isn't slimy. I said in the last video, the heart isn't slimy, it doesn't stink. That's true for that. This is not true for this. This brain is very soft. I don't know if you can see that. It is a real brain. It is soft, and unfortunately, I'm so sad to tell you, it does have a little bit of a smell. There, that doesn't have the glare on it. Has a little bit of the smell. It's more gamey smelling than funky or anything like that. So again, the double triangle, taking all my sigils, placing the mountain in the middle of my double triangle, then maybe I need to put this brain. Maybe I need to put that. And some of the things I would do if I'm doing domination, some of the things people say, well, I want him to, you know, think about me sexually all the time, less. Okay, so fire and passion. Think about what represents fire and passion to you when you're dressing your items. So for me, red pepper, passion, hot sex. You want it hot, you want it passionate, I think red pepper. Works for me every time. If you want it fast, like what do you think of when you think of energy and adding energy to something? Coffee. So dressing it with coffee. If you're thinking of love, sugar something, honey, bee pollen, cocoa. You have to be creative. It's about what things mean to you. So sit down and really think, oh, okay, I want to I want to control this person's brain, and this is what I want them to think. I want them to think about me more sexually. I want them to think about me when they smell a certain smell, then maybe spray some of your perfume on that brain, and you know, with the intention of this scent is going to be ingrained in your memory. Even if they've never smelled it before, they're going to smell that scent randomly, go scent everywhere, and that is your scent. And then when you actually see that person and walk past them and you're wearing that perfume, it strengthens it, and then it starts, you know, a deeper bond of obsession. You could do that. You have to figure out what things mean to you. And it's great that you guys watch videos. I watched a lot of videos too when I got started, but I didn't have great success until I started sitting down and writing my own grimoires. And I felt stupid at first, you know, putting sugar on a candle and honey and asking, you know, for a love spell, but it worked. And then when I started getting access to things that helped me focus sympathetically on my magic, then it was putting honey on a heart, sugar on a heart, herbs on a heart, things that, you know, represent love for me, rose petals, you know, bodily fluids of the target. Some people are, you know, even able to do sex magic, not having sex with the actual item, but having, you know, doing sex magic and pushing that magic into the ritual. There's a ton of videos on sex magic. There's so much that you can do. But if you are hitting roadblocks and you are just working with candles, I implore you to really, really get into sympathetic magic and figure out what things need to look like for you to resonate at your highest frequency to manifest those results that you want. If you're doing a sex spell, maybe you got to throw some condoms and lube on the tray, you know, that you're doing the spell with. Whatever makes your brain think of that, then do that. There is no wrong and there's no this is only right. It is you and your magic. So get out of your head, stop being embarrassed, or stop thinking that, oh, I'm sick if I, use this animal heart. It doesn't matter. People in Africa have been killing animals, using animal parts since the beginning of time. That is what makes these things so powerful and so wonderful. And that magic has fractured off and gone into so many different branches. But don't forget the roots of magic. I'm not saying all magic, originated in Africa. But I'm saying the stuff that did, they definitely used animal parts and sacrifice, and they weren't feeling stupid about it. That was what put them in the zone, and that's what thousands of years later we are still doing. So I'm just saying, get primal with it, get back to your roots, figure out what your roots are. If a heart is too much for you and you couldn't handle this and you can't work with an actual animal heart, then maybe you need to start cutting out paper hearts instead of just using candles and having no representation of a heart, paper hearts. Maybe you need to smell love in the air as well. So incense, beautiful flowers, perfume, things that are going to make you think of love and sex, music that makes you think of love, or sexy music. Get all the senses engaged in your magic, listening to the right thing, smelling the right thing, handling the right thing, seeing the right thing, and your magic will start to strengthen and manifest. So that went on long. Those are my suggestions for getting more into sympathetic magic. I do offer these spells on the site. If you wanted to do an obsession spell with the brain, there's the regular obsession spell that's on the site, and then there's also an add-on button that says brain booster or brain booster spell. That's what that means. That is adding the brain to the obsession spell, because the obsession spell regularly, it's just done with candles and my herbs and sigils and things like that. But if you wanted to add this to the spell, the brain, then you can also add that for an additional cost. Again, it works the same when someone's casting for you. If you need that person to actually work with the brain to feel like they're going to be successful, then do that. Work with the caster that can do that for you. If you have faith that that caster can just cast it with a couple candles or whatever, then do that. You have to do what you believe in, and you have to work with who you believe in. If you do not believe in a spellcaster and you're asking them to do work for you, and you're just wasting your money because you don't believe in them. So if you need a spellcaster that uses hardcore sympathetic magic, then find someone, by all means, that works that type of magic so you feel like they have the best chance of making things happen for you. So that is my advice for today. Check out the website. I think I actually am going to start offering the actual hearts and the brains on the site. It's legal for me to ship them to you. There's, like I said, it's formaldehyde, there's no blood or anything like that. The only thing that has a little bit of a mess to it is the brain. But I think I am going to start selling these. That way you guys can use these parts in your magic, because it's extremely hard to find these in the streets. Believe me, I went years with just using little chicken hearts from the, the grocery store and all this, because I couldn't find this stuff. So I want to make it easy for you, and I want you guys to get your hands dirty, kind of, when it comes to magic. I mean, everything's not about money. I offer things, people say, well, why would you offer that? Because if you're offering it and they can do it themselves, then they're not going to pay you to do the work. My mission here in life is not just to make money. I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach, and I'm here to empower, and it's my pleasure to be able to empower you at the best of your ability to do your magic. I don't give a shit if you never buy a spell from me. I don't care if you never contact me. If you watch my videos and you have gotten something from it, then my purpose has been fulfilled here on earth, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to serve. So, serving doesn't necessarily always mean I'm going to get paid for it. That is so mundane and beneath me. I've never been at a deficit for money, and I never will be. My purpose is to serve. So please contact me if you need something that is not was not shown here. I have pretty good access to a lot of parts and a lot of things, so really no question is too strange for me. It's hard for me to get access to cows' tongues. For right now, I can only have access to sheep's tongues, but if you're looking for tongues, pretty much anything I can get my hands on. So contact me if something's not listed on the site. Good luck with your magic, and please, please, please don't be afraid to do these things yourself. You are the strongest source that you have. You're stronger than any spellcaster that you could ever hire, because it is your will that you're wanting to be done, so do not doubt yourself. All right, bye.